Teacher?
Sir, good evening. Shall we start?
Thanks.
A very good day to one and all present here. It gives me immense pleasure to extend a warm and cordial welcome to everyone gathered for this webinar on the topic Role of Teachers as Nation Builders in the 21st Century. This theme is highly relevant in the contemporary educational context where teachers play a crucial role in shaping values, character, and responsible citizenship for national development. At the outset, I extend my respectful and heartfelt welcome to our distinguished resource person, Mr. Mohd Aleem, sir, research scholar, Department of Teacher Training and Non-Formal Education, Jamia Millia Islamia Central University, New Delhi. We are honored to have you with us today, and we look forward to your insightful and scholarly deliberations, which will certainly enrich our understanding of the evolving role of teachers in the 21st century. I take this opportunity to warmly welcome Dr. M.S. Geeta Ma'am, Chairman, Council for Teacher Education Foundation Kerala Chapter. We are grateful for your esteemed presence and continuous encouragement, which greatly support academic excellence in teacher education. I also extend a special welcome to Professor Dr. Rajeshwari K. Ma'am, President, Association of International Researchers of Indian Origin, Kerala Chapter. Your scholarly leadership and commitment to research and academic growth serve as a great inspiration to the teaching and research community. I am honored to extend a warm welcome to Dr. Sunkumar Jain, Principal of Mar Basilis College of Education, whose visionary leadership, guidance, and support have made this academic initiative possible. I also warmly welcome our student convener, Dior Tangachan, for his enthusiastic leadership, and also warmly welcome all faculty members, research scholars, student teachers, and participants who have joined us today. Your presence and active participation add great value to this program. Once again, I extend a hearty welcome to everyone and wish this webinar a very success. Thank you and have a meaningful session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Frenny, for your such enlightenment and insightful warm welcome. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Esteemed Dr. Sunit Kumar, Pro General Convener, Ms. Frenny Maria, Program Convener, and all my young and aspiring minds. Before I start, I shall ask whether I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, myself, Mohd Aleem, research scholar, Department of Teacher Training and Non-Formal Education, Faculty of Education, Jamia Millia Islamia, New Delhi. So, before starting, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to Mar Basilis College of Education, Wayanad, for providing me such an opportunity to take today's session forward. That is entitled as Role of Teacher as a Nation Builder in 21st Century. But before taking this session forward, I would like to have a request with my audience that during this session, we'll try to have an interaction. We'll try to have an interaction so that the communication could have a two-way and we could have some insight from you as well so that we can have a meaningful and insightful discussion at the end. So let's get started. I'm sharing my screen. Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Is the PPT is visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, as we know, the session for today's talk is role of teacher as a nation builder in 21st century. When we look at this topic, it's quite very engaging. But when we look, it's like we are having a very basic but a very crucial discussion. Moving forward, we can see the slide, which is being started with a very powerful quote, that is, the destiny of India is now being shaped in his or her classroom. These are the lines from Kothari Commission, which is also known as the Education Commission, which is under the chairmanship of Dr. D.S. Kothari. And I would like to also mention that because of this commission, the suggestions which was made, our India got the first national policy on education, that is NPE 1968. As it is mentioned, the destiny, that is the future of India, is in the classrooms. See, the value which we are having today, the value, the responsibility which we are having today is being specially mentioned since the time we got independence. From that time, we know that the destiny, the role we are playing in our in the life of our youngsters, in our life of young scholars, young children, is so much important. Moving ahead, that why this topic, although quite general, but very crucial. Why this topic was crucial? So when we think that why this process was topic was crucial, we had the following certain pointers, which is now I believe is visible to all. This topic was crucial because every citizen is shaped by teachers. Teaching does not means the delivering of us content or completing just mere completion of the syllabus. As today, we know that the information, the ample amount of information we are droning literally in it is available to all. But the teachers whose role is now being more forwarded to the role of as a facilitator. Now it's our duty to teach our students whether which information is authentic to them, which information is real to them, which information is to be believed. Next is teachers influence attitudes, values, and thinking. I must say, you are the future, you are the nation builders. There is also a famous proverb: destruction and creation are nurtured in the lap of a teacher. I must be believing that many of us or all of us know this is the very quote of an ancient philosopher, Kautilya, who is also known as Chanakya. At that time, see, since at that time, from where in our Indian scenario, Gurukul system was prevailing, so this that time we are having such an importance of this profession, that is the teachers, the one who is going to shape the destiny of the country. But as going forward, one question clicks to my mind, and I would like to have an opinion of my audience as well. Although we are not comparing different professions, but when we different professions come to our minds, let's say doctors, let's say engineers, soldiers, politicians, whether or teachers. What you guys think is commonality in all these professions? Anyone can have discussion on this. Anyone can have an opinion on this. We are, I believe, having around 57 participants right now. So anyone can have. I repeat, any suggestion, any view you want to put forward.
Sir, the questions was not clear.
Okay, I must repeat my question. Uh, let's say we are having different professions: a lawyer, a teacher, a doctor, and an engineer. What role, which role or which profession can leads to the nation building to an extent which could prove to a highest level? Although we are not comparing, but in a general sense, if we consider, what you guys think? Is it clear now? I think the speaker was Asmia. Is it clear the question now?
Sir, the question was clear. I think it's, of course, the teaching profession.
Okay. Okay, the teaching profession. Can you give opinion why you just in a fraction of second determines the teaching profession?
Sir, as the Gotari Commission said, the future of India is constructed within the classrooms.
Okay, okay,
So
okay,
I
okay,
firmly believe that the future of India and world as a whole is depend on the hands of teachers.
okay, okay. Good. So what what I believe, what my view is this: if we look before becoming the citizen of this country, a child first become the citizen of a classroom of a teacher. So unknowingly, teacher is teaching or guiding or molding a leader for tomorrow. A doctor who is going to discover the cure for very different kind of diseases which is today are not prevailing but may be prevailing in future. To the architects, to the engineers who are going to build up superstructures. So in this way, I believe that teachers are the professional roles who have a role to shape the society at very ground level. At very ground level, they are the ones who are understanding the individual differences of their childs, individual differences of their students, individual interests. So they are molding them and providing us a background where they provide the country with enable, with prestigious, with talented engineers, doctors, politicians, and so on. So moving forward to the next slide. Every society, in every society, almost in every society, teachers have been regarded as the architects of the nation. Whether we see from the ancient period where Chanakya, in such an initial ancient period, had marked such a major, such an important proverb, such an important position to the teachers, to the century, that is 21st century, which we today marked by globalization, digital transformation, environmental challenges, and social diversity. Thus, the role of teacher has been expanded over the period of time, not merely the emitters or providers of information, but also the shapers of informed, ethical, skilled, and responsible citizens, which is specially I mentioned, has been continuously mentioned in our latest educational policy, that is NEP 2020, that the future of nation depends largely on the quality of its teacher. That is today we are leading to the challenges of we are leading from context based to competency based. Today, the human capital is being judged on the basis of the quality of citizens a nation is having. So we can know at every step. I would try to mention that we will know how important the role of teacher in today's scenario is becoming. So when we talk about meaning of nation building, so it comes with certain specific terminologies, which I feels a teacher has a duty that their students should know democratic values, that what kind of freedoms like freedom of speech, freedom of expression, different kinds of facilities, different kinds of rights which our constitution is providing to them, that they should be environmentally conscious, keeping in mind the needs of future generations, using resources in such a sustainable way. Another important term is scientific temper. Scientific temper, if I mention, scientific temper is basically thinking scientifically to a particular situation, not just mere believing if someone said so. So we are not just believing on that, we are critically pondering over on that. We are critically thinking, critically analyzing over that. These are the duties which the teacher in today's scenario is become very, very important. Ethical responsibility. Ethics, which includes the rights, which includes what is wrong, which tells us what is wrong and what is right to do in a particular situation. If a teacher has set up this ethical responsibility in his or her child, he or she must be knowing uh, that what is ethically to do in a particular situation, irrespective of whether is someone is looking at him, whether someone is having a judging on him, forwarded by social harmony with the feelings of brotherhood. Living in such a country where India, we are having pride to be living under such perspectives, such diverse backgrounds. So these are the things. Uh, there is a quite delay. I would like to reconnect my network. Please just have an halt. Okay, okay. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, okay. So now moving forward, we have paradigm shift. And if we look at the scenario from the ancient times, if we look at the scenario at the ancient time, we were literally just an information gatekeepers. We were the providers of information. But today, in today's session, in today's world, we are the architect of potentials. We are the architects of potential. Think back. Think back to a time or about 1 decade or 1 century, about 100 years back. Teacher job was merely to prepare students for a factory or a firm who need people who could follow instructions, uh, and need people who could follow instructions, repeat tasks, and work in a hierarchy. But if we look at today's scenario, we are living in the world of artificial intelligence. We are living in a world where some of all the human knowledge is in the pocket of 12-year-old child. So we are living in an AI world where essays can be written with a quick span of time, with just a fraction of seconds. So again, a question arises in today's world whether the need of teacher is become relevant. I know we all are using AI. We all are using AI in our studies. So everyone is studying from AI, trying to studying from AI. So basic questions from many of the people I've came across the in the coming times that the role of teacher would not be relevant, would not be such useful. So again, I have want an insight from you, young aspirings and such intellectual minds. That what are your opinion on this? That in this landscape, what do you think?
Sir,
Anyone?
a
Yes, yes.
teacher with a deep knowledge in AI is what all needed now.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. So my answer, if you listen, the my way of thinking to this session, to this concept is like the teacher has never been more vital as it is vital in today's scenario. We are no longer, as mentioned, I mentioned, information gatekeepers. We are the architects of human potential today. Remember, a nation is never built with bricks or mortars. It is built with values, skills, and ideas. And I specifically mention, and all these three are only available in the classroom of a teacher. The touch, that human touch, that feeling part, which a human can provide, a machine can never provide that. Getting my point? The machine touch, which will never be overcome the touch that human can give. Although there are certain tech corporations who are trying to inculcate feelings in certain robots and all that AI, but what I believe is they cannot remove. But the role of teacher from the gatekeeper has been changed to the architects of potential. the role has been shifted to the facilitator of information. So today, moving forward, if we look at the blueprint for thriving nations and what we can do, what we as a teacher, what responsibilities which we can carry forward in today's scenario. So not to get off track or to keep this session in a streamlined way, what I have divided is tried to divide the whole session into three pillars, which I mentioned, which I named as the pillar one, the economic engine, or we can say economic and intellectual capital. The second pillar is the social fabric, or we can say it as social and moral architects. The pillar third, that is the global bridge, or we can say the role of teacher as a global catalyst. So we'll try to discuss one by one and would gain some insights. So moving forward, we first have our pillar first, that is building the economic growth. So let's talk about economy. So let's initially, what was the scenario? What was our scenario? What the things were going like that? The past, a nation wealth. The nation's wealth was measured by its assets, like gold. How much gold that particular country is having, how much oil reservoir that particular country is having, how much land area that particular country is having. But in 21st century, the nation's wealth is measured by its human capital, by their informed citizens. The shift that is came from content specific to competency specific. We used to teach our students earlier formulas. We used to cramp formulas, facts. We used to cram facts we are going to write on our next day tests. But in a nation building context, that is no longer enough. If a student, just literally think, if a student can access that fact in a fraction of second, then why it is the need to memorize it over the period of 3 weeks? It's quite irrelevant. So what could be the alternate? So alternate could be our role that is now being changed from content specific to competency specific, and we need to focus on 4C principles, 4C strategies. That 4C's stands for critical thinking, communication, creativity, and collaboration. One by one, we will try to explain that why critical thinking is important. Because a nation whose people cannot think critically is a nation that can be easily manipulated. Their citizens can be easily manipulated. Communication, because the great ideas, if great ideas are never being discussed, so they would be like sagged in a certain portion of minds and never being talked about. Next is collaboration. Dealing with the scenarios today, like for example, global pandemics, we cannot deal with such things all alone on our single person's genius. We require a team. We require a teamwork. Therefore, collaboration is very important in today's scenario. Creativity. The next C is creativity, because we know every uh, work is now almost being done with the help of machines. But the only thing, as I mentioned earlier, machines cannot do today, they cannot provide that real touch which a human can provide in his or her classroom. So the teacher as economic engine, every time you push a student, let's say every time you push a student to solve a complex problem, instead of giving them answer, you can push them to think critically. So you are not letting them think, you are literally preparing, training future entrepreneurs. Every time you encourage a girl to stick to a difficult maths problem, you are building a workforce for the future. As a teacher, you are not just covering the syllabus, You are the building. You are building the intellectual infrastructures of the country. You are consuming. The role of today's teacher should not only be to consume the technology that is being sold, that is being used by some other country. Our roles should be to develop our technology, our creativity, which is being important and very important in today's scenario. Moving ahead is the pillar second, that is weaving the social fabric. The social fabric, weaving of the social fabric, or we can say social and moral architects. In the previous uh, pillar number one, we have talked about economy and skills. But a nation, still I repeat, a nation can be rich in technology and advanced, yet it still crumble. Yet still crumble if it lacks the soul. That is where the role of teacher becomes sacred. The role of teacher become more important. We would like to discuss this in the 3 pointers form, that this pillar number second, that is the social and moral architects, can be easily understood on the basis of 3 headers, which are the classroom as a micro nation, a miniature, a mini India, which we found diversity in our classroom, that is, can be synonymously think as a miniature of our country. Child, before it becomes a citizen of this country or eligible to be the voter of this country, becomes first the citizen of your classroom, the first place where they learn to live together, to be with the people who like, whether like thoughts or unlike thoughts, is the first place of your class. The one who pray in a similar way, we have think in a similar way. When you facilitate, let's say, when you facilitate a respectful debate with two students with opposing views, you are not just managing the class. I repeat, you just not managing the class. You are preventing the future civil wars. You are teaching the art of social cohesion. See, you are teaching such an important aspects. The next header could be truth in the age of 20, the truth in the age of noise, truth in the age of noise in the 21st century. As we have mentioned, we are today droning in ample amount of information. Everyone is having ample amount of information in just fraction of seconds. In just fraction of seconds, they can access to any information. But again, the concept is what arises is what to believe. What is the authentic source? Who is going to teach us that? That is being taught through ourselves. That we are going to taught. That we, the teacher educators, this is the duty of ourselves to teach our young aspiring minds that what to believe, not just literally listen and grumble the facts which don't have any base. We should have to teach our students what the authentic source of information can be. The next is the architects of characters. As you can also see in this slide, this pillar seems to be is like the architects of our character, where integrity, empathy, respect, and justice are being taught. Finally, we must address the very important concept which we have seen was not being talked about before the pandemic of 2020, that is corona, has arrived. That is the silent crisis of mental health of our youth, which is a very serious concern today. So as a role of teacher again is becoming increasing, but it is has trying to change the shapes, trying to have different scenarios. In the era of likes, where our youth is being fascinated through social medias, where they literally becomes ponder over likes, comments and all. So to look at a student in a true manner, a student in a true manner when we build resilience in our students, when we teach them that the failures, what we see, that if our youths sometimes get failures in their life, they are trying to opt ways which are not good, which are not making any sense. They are trying to have suicides as well. So the resilience, when you teach them that the failures are the data points, not the dead ends. Failures are the steps of the success, by learning on which we can make ourselves grown in a specific way. You are building a nation of a people who can't break when a world gets in a tough situation, like similar to the situation which was created back in the pandemic, that is of Corona 2020. That's the ultimate nation building. That's the role which teacher is going to play today, not the role of just of being providing the sources of information. Moving forward, these are all the points which I mentioned, I explained, that is of promoting inclusivity, which I mentioned as a micro classroom is a miniature or micro nation, promoting inclusivity, fostering civic responsibility, building mental resilience, which I recently just talked about, the role of mental health, which the teacher today have to keep a vigilant eye on that, so that the youth should be diverted in a way our country could progress. The power of our youth should not be wasted in any way. Moving forward to the third pillar, that is forging a global bridge, or we can say the teacher as a global catalyst. By catalyst, what I mean is the game changer that is providing a stimulus. We often think when a concept of nation building comes, we often think looking inward the boundaries, like building of borders, building of roads, building of streets, building of our economy. That's that's fine. But in 21st century, a nation cannot survive. A nation cannot survive as an island as to build a strong nation, we must produce global citizens. We must global citizens who can compete with the global standards, maintain that global standards. And how that could be possible? How that could be possible? I would like to explain again on the basis of three headers. That is, number one, the bridge between local and global. Local and global. Our students are no longer just competing today with the kid of the next street. They are competing and learning, collaborating with the peers, with all over the globe, whether a child is from Singapore, Helsinki, India, Bangalore, wherever it is having, they are having a global perspective. They are competing and learning, collaborating at a global level. So as a teacher, your role again become crucial. You can bridge, you can take a global challenges. You can take global challenges like global health issues, human rights issues. You can bring them to their desk. You can bring them to desk over over a period of year. You will find that you will teach them that their action would going to have a ripple effect or an exponential effect, would which ultimately cross the oceans, cross the nations. We would be having such an intellectual minds. Sorry, we could be having such an intellectual minds who would be providing us information, who would be providing us solutions, which the world today is struggling. So the role again is become the architects, the facilitator of human potential. As we can see in slide as well, unity in diversity. We can help our student to understand that their national history and cultural heritage within a wider global context. Breaking the cycle of inequality is again a global issue and is prevailing in our country as well. A nation building is impossible. A nation building, I repeat, is impossible if half of our population is left behind. Teachers are the primary figures, primary fighters against the lottery of the birth, whether a child is born in a rich or a poor family. The teacher is the only one who made the child realize that your background, your background doesn't define your horizon. Your background doesn't let you pull down. It doesn't define your horizon. By advocating inclusive education in today's scenario, you are not ensuring the nation's talent pool with 100% of participation, which is not just very less deep. It is very deep ocean. You are just including all in with the help of that inclusivity. Next is developing the cultural intelligence. Cultural intelligence could be IQ in globalized world. In globalized world, IQ and EQ. What is IQ? That is intelligence quotient, and emotional quotient are not just enough. We need cultural intelligence. By cultural intelligence, what I mean is a nation thrives, a nation moves forward when the citizens from different cultures, languages, and perspective without any fear met. You are the one. Now you are the one who will be fostering that curiosity. You are turning the fear of the unknown, not knowing, having a knowledge of different cultures, diversities. Now it's your duty. Now it's your duty to foster that curiosity. When you do that, you are not just aren't just teaching a lesson. You are ensuring your nation has a seat. Your nation has a seat at a global level, at a global table. You are preparing your learners to compete with the learners at a global level. Just a second. Moving forward, are the keystones the teacher as a lifelong learner would be today prevailing. In this 21st century, the role of teachers has become that the role models of professionalism. We have to maintain that professionalism. We have to maintain that professionalism that is inspiring disciplines, dedication, and commitment through their own conduct. Embodiment of adaptability. We have to always ready in any situation to adapt the change, demonstrating our resilience and commitment to continuous professional development in this rapidly changing world. Who who could have imagined before the period of pandemic we could have interactions like that as like this as well, like we are doing today. At that particular period of time, being a son of a mother who is also a teacher at a primary school in one of the districts of Uttar Pradesh, that is Rampur district, my mother used to tremble, used to struggle with adapting this technology. But today, when I see, she's very much adaptable. She's ready to have different kind of interactions. She could ready to have different kind of ways. The way she quickly connects to Zoom meetings, the way she quickly do such an easily the way she was struggling at that period of time. So we have to be ready at any point of time to adapt the situations. These are the roles which a teacher is having today. A teacher is having a role, so we have to adapt to situations in a quick span of time. Next is the ripple effect. Ripple effect. Ripple effect, if as I believe that we must all be knowing, it's a concept in sciences that if we throw a stone in a lake or a pond, when that stone or that stone is landed into that particular lake or pond, we could see the formation of concentric circles, that one by one by one by one, the circles formation. We could now relate this to highlighting that a one great teacher can influence exponential shaping students. Can one students would shape another, then another, then another, then another. We don't know those leaders would turn and shape the society in the coming years. So these are some of the crucial things we must keep in our mind. As a teacher, the role are increased to a very large extent. Now, these are some concepts which we have discussed on my insights, what I used to think of all these. So now, as a what was the scenarios in our family, in my family, I would like to introduce some incidents which I how I entered this field of teacher education, which was very kind of coincidence, we can say. I was a student at a CBSE board student. I did my class 12th back in 2018 with science background. At that period of time, it was in my mind, like we have in a society that uh, if a boy is born, he must be an engineer, he must be a doctor. Or if a girl is born, the role which today which today the people think that girl could the best profession for a girl could be a teacher. So even when I decided after class 12th that I would be joining this particular field, that is of teacher education, many of our family members or many of our relatives also questioned, you are joining a profession which is quite naturally made for girls. I was like, this is not like that, this you are making an stigma to that. So after that, I joined an integrated session which was being launched in recent years, that is BSc B.Ed. BSc B.Ed, which was very in very less districts was prevailing that time. Then I, Touchwood, was passed out as a gold medalist there. Now, by this period of time, I was very interested in this field, that is of teacher education. I would like to literally thought to excel in this field. So I joined an AMED program at one of our prestigious college, that is Regional Institutes of Education, RIE, which are the laboratories of NCRT. Laboratories, I mentioned why. Laboratories in terms, they are just doing experiments with the students, with the young learners. What are the needs of and continuously pondering over what are the need of the arts. Ma- Staying at that, completing my again masters at RI Ajmer, passed out as against gold medalist there, gold medalist there. I came across various young scholars, various young and intellectual minds, which ultimately shaped me to move again further ahead. Then in recent years, or I can say last year, I joined PhD program. So my way of explaining my journey just is that we need an insight that we have the responsibility. If we are joining our stream, if we are joining the field of teacher education, our roles is become very important. We have a very high responsibility in today's world of shaping, which is rapidly shaping, literally shaping every single day, where a teacher is having literally new challenges every single day when they enter their classrooms. So this role becomes very important. Moving towards the conclusion, As we wrap up, before we wrap up this session, I would like I would like that you all just look at your hands. Just a small kind of icebreaker activity. Just all you have to look at our hands. These hands, these hands you are seeing are not just having lesson plans, having rubrics for assessment in our hand. These are having the blueprints of our nation's future. The young minds these hands are having, the engineers who could be making in future superstructures who could be maybe you who could be maybe sitting in your classroom, the doctor who is going to invent the cure of a disease which is not even today arising, not even today is being discovered, can be sit in your classroom. The not in the classroom, the leader who will navigate our country in different complexities of the century would maybe sitting in your classroom. So in this century, 21st century, the our role is become very, very, very responsible. I'm again mentioning we have to ponder over. We have to make our learners critical thinkers who is having our scientific literates, not just mere believing the beliefs which are continuously evolving in our society. We need to think critically. We often talk about nation building. Nation building is something which usually take place in our parliament or under boards, under uh, cozy rooms where board members meetings are happening. But my dear friends, I would like to know that I would like to tell you that it's a mistake. Nation buildings is happening every Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. in our classrooms. It is happening when you don't give up on the students who are giving up on their confidence level. When you don't give up on them and excelling them to regain their confidence. You are a silent architect which our country or nation is going to see in the recent coming years. Your influence is written not with the ink, but it would be seen in the nature, in the character of the people which are going to inherit our country, who are going to lead our country in future. You are literally having, as JB Watson say that if I give you, you just give me uh, 8 to 10 students, I would make them the way I want because they are blank canvas. The thing you write on them would remain permanent there, would never fade. So it's our responsibility. What it's again, I'm saying it becomes much important. The role of R has become more vital, the more crucial to to shape our future teachers, to shape our future lawyers, to shape our future doctors, to shape our future engineers in such a way that our country would lead in lead and become ranked in every aspects. In every aspect, the world tomorrow is being born in your school, in your classrooms. Just go out and build it with courage, innovation, and the most one important thing, with all your hearts and efforts. So, concluding in a nutshell, I could say that empowered teacher is equivalent to an empowered nation. Empowered teacher is equivalent to an empowered nation. So, I would like to give pause to my voice with a famous again quotation that the destinies with which I also started in the initial section, the initial tagline of the Kothari Commission, that the destiny of our India of our country is shaped in its classroom. Thank you so much. This is all from my side. These are all the references. And for your convenience, I would share my PPT on the groups we are connected. But before giving end to my voice, if anyone is having a query or anyone is having a question, we can have a session on it. Yes, please. Anyone? Okay, fine. Thank you. This was all insights from my side. Over to the convener.
ടീച്ചറെ, റനി ടീച്ചർ.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, Deol, you are audible.
Okay. First of all, I express my sincere gratitude to all who have contributed to the successful organization and conduct of this webinar on the topic Role of Teachers as Nation Builders in the 21st Century. I extend my heartfelt thanks to our distinguished resource person, Mr. Mohd Aleem, for his insightful and thought-provoking deliberations. His scholarly inputs and practical perspectives on the evolving role of teachers in nation building have greatly enriched the understanding of all the participants. I express my deep sense of gratitude to Dr. M.S. Geeta, Chairman Council for Teacher Education Foundation, Kerala chapter, for her esteemed presence, guidance, and encouragement, which added immense value to this academic endeavor. I am also deeply thankful to Professor Dr. Rajeshwari K., President, Association of International Researchers of Indian Origin, Kerala chapter, for her inspiring leadership and continued academic support that motivate institutions towards excellence in research and education. I also extend my deep gratitude to Dr. Sunit Kumar GN, the General Convener and Principal, Mar Basilos College of Education, for his visionary leadership, constant encouragement, and administrative support in making this webinar a meaningful and successful event. My sincere thanks to Ms. Freni Maria, Program Convener, for her dedicated planning, coordination, and tireless efforts in organizing this program efficiently. Finally, I thank all the participants for their enthusiastic participation and active engagement, which truly contributed to the success of this webinar. Once again, thank you all for your valuable support and cooperation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.